Hi there, this is David, and as many of you out there know, I am a retro gamer at heart. Older games that I grew up with are my favorites. They always have been, they always will be. So I love anything that scratches that itch nowadays. So when there's a modern game that pays homage to the great games released in the 90s, I'm pretty keen on that. Guardian Tales takes all the aspects of RPGs that I love and combines them with the single combat of the 2D Zeldas that I grew up with. So in today's video, brought to you by Kong Studios, I want to showcase their latest console release on the Nintendo Switch, officially launching October 3rd at 7 p.m. Guardian Tales was originally released on mobile back in 2020, and it received glowing reviews there. I should know, I was curious. I went and I looked them up. But these text reviews only tell you so much, and I did want to try it out for myself. Let me first say this and get it out of the way because I know what you're thinking. There are no microtransactions to speak of here, and there are no ads either. In all my playtime, I didn't encounter anything even remotely close to a pay-to-win option. I didn't even see a way to pay real money at all. So please, get all those preconceived notions out of your mind, because you're not going to find that here. Instead, you're going to find a captivating, humorous story, addictive gameplay, fast combat, and fun side quests. You begin as either a male or female knight, newly trained and recently enlisted into the Canterbury army as a guardian. Only, just your luck, the kingdom's under attack, and you rush to the aid of the little princess and Queen Camilla. While the kingdom burns to the ground around you, you're miraculously saved by the magic of the royal family, and you're whisked away into the nearby Canterbury forest. Separated from the rest of the survivors, though. The queen's missing, and the little princess has been kidnapped by the goblins, so it's up to you to save her. Yeah, the story is rather cliche, but remember, this is a 90s homage, and believe me, it only gets better from here. After completing the first world and rescuing the poor, perpetually kidnapped princess, you'll learn much more of the prophecy to find the 12 champions who are destined to restore the sword's power and save the world. It's just too bad that the prophecy wasn't from God, but from the invaders who attacked the kingdom in the first place. It's a neat little twist to the overarching story, but I really found myself enjoying the smaller stories found within the worlds and stages that you explore. While searching for the 12 champions, you will undoubtedly run into colorful characters you can't help but love. Then, after you complete their quests, they'll join up with you. Also, wackiness, inside jokes, and video game references abound. There was this one point which really just made me laugh out loud. You're out wandering around the Canterbury Forest, and you come across the Master Sword, only for it to be busted up and broken by the crazy blacksmith that you met previously. Then Link comes along and he's like, where's my sword? So the blacksmith says, "It's dangerous to go alone, take this," and he gives the guy an Uzi. There's even an annoying fairy reference, a Game Boy stuck in a cave wall, Pegasus boots, and power gloves. If you're like me and you love the 2D Zeldas, look no further. The graphics are a neat mashup of old meets new, with the backgrounds being that smoothed out mobile style, while the sprites themselves use much more of an SNES aesthetic. Each world consists of multiple mandatory stages, as well as hidden side stages that unlock by agreeing to fulfill NPC requests. It really does remind me of the world map in Super Mario World with regular and hidden stages. In the single-player story mode, the stages are all self-contained, with some being much more involved than others, each of them following exciting storylines and new forms of gameplay. Some of them are simpler, just wanting you to kill all the enemies put in front of you, while others require intricate puzzle solving, complete with hidden passages, treasures to find, coins to collect, and quests to solve. Though the vast majority of them combine all of these aspects together. Don't think of this as some idle game that you can turn on and ignore. This is a full-fledged console experience through and through, requiring your full attention. Just as in any good action-adventure game, there's a myriad of collectibles to find, and it's clearly marked on each stage just how many treasures, coins, star pieces, and side quests are located in each one. The treasure chests contain all sorts of offensive and defensive equipment, while the star pieces work as kind of a special currency. And same thing with the coins. Remember Secret of Evermore, where each world had their own currency? It's the same thing here. You'll be collecting coins in the first world, gears in the second, books in the third, and then so on. Then you can visit the Camazon store to buy power-ups with each of them. Yeah, Camazon, I know. But that's not the only pun. Lots of NPCs will also follow you on Facebreak as well. The puns come in fast and strong here. Before entering each stage, there's a recommended level as well as a notice of what types of monsters inhabit the zone, so you can configure your party as needed. There's literally tons of side quests to undertake, optional stages to do, and choices to be had. And most choices actually matter, and will bring you closer to either the light or dark side. And thankfully, Guardian Tales overtly tells you how these options will affect your alignment. With all the side quests and optional stages opening up, finding what to do next can be a little bit overwhelming. But there is an indicator telling you where to go next, so if you just want to move the story along, it's a really nice quality of life improvements like this that elevate the experience for me. Combat is super easy to learn, but more tactical than you might think at first glance. In the first world, you can pretty much survive just by swinging your sword around wildly, but if you try that in the second world, you'll die pretty fast. As you progress through the worlds, you'll increase your level cap, gain more party members, and gain access to new weaponry, and each weapon has a skill associated with it. You're going to want to use those and stack them together with the rest of your party to unleash combination attacks and stuns on the harder bosses, especially by the time that you reach World 3. The training wheels are definitely off then. The puzzle mechanics have really amped up a notch, and your party's fully together, and all the options are at your fingertips. And it's here that I just had to stop mindlessly progressing and really looking at what else the game has to offer. Summoning heroes and equipment is very easy to do as well. You just use your tickets and you can summon up to 10 of each of them at a time. Then, when you choose the heroes that strike your fancy, you can upgrade and evolve them further, even unlocking costumes for them, as well as costumes for your favorite weapons. I loved seeing who I got each time, and how changing my party around could revitalize my combat tactics. Guardian Tales is also really smart insofar as it tutorializes you by incentivizing you. What I mean by that is, on the bottom of the screen, you're going to get rewarded for little things that you do anyway, just like going into a stage, leveling up a character, or messing around in the town. But every once in a while, you're going to see a pop-up, and it's going to say like, hey, have you checked out the guild? What about the labyrinth, the rift, or the tower dungeons? If you do, you're going to get a reward. It smartly and slowly introduces all the game mechanics to you without feeling like you're going through some horrible tutorial dungeon. The labyrinth and rift dungeons are special areas that you can go to when you're feeling weak. You can dive down there if you just need some more gold, equipment, or evolution stones, just whatever. If you're having trouble with a boss, just take a couple of minutes, either going back and finishing up some side quests, or delve into those special dungeons to gain specific items that you might need. Then, there's the side stories that you can complete, which is essentially going back in time to revisit old instanced events that you might have missed the first time around. So let's say that you're getting into the game later, and there were some instanced timed events that you missed previously. Well, as luck might have it, you never actually really missed them because you can go back and experience them at your leisure with the side stories. While the single player mode is extensive, there's also co-op boss battles you can fight with friends or guild members, as well as real-time player versus player battles. So there's really a little bit of everything here for everyone. Once you get to the second world, you're going to be introduced to an addictive town minigame as well. It's very reminiscent to that fairy minigame from Breath of Fire 3. There are 3 indicators for your town, which is called Heavenhold. There's food, drink, and games. And you're going to need to build shops to fulfill your townsfolk's desires. Then, as you upgrade your inn, more heroes will come to the town, bringing SP with them, which you use to further upgrade your buildings and create landmarks to power up your party's combat capabilities. It's just yet another fun way to pass the time, and you can just kind of work on it whenever you're in the menu powering up your characters anyway. I remember whenever I was younger, and I only had so many games to play. I would look over to my bookshelf where I kept all of my Nintendo games, and sometimes I would just be bored with all the same old stuff on a rainy summer day. But it's a game like this that I wish that I had growing up. Something that I could get lost in, something fun, something that kind of like never ends, and something that I could really invest myself in. I mean, at the risk of sounding like an out-of-touch old man, kids these days don't know how good they have it. Sponsorship aside, I mean everything that I've said here. This is truly a fun game, and I really did have a blast playing it. I would not have agreed to this video if I couldn't be 100% honest with y'all, and I think that you're going to have a great time too if you just give it a shot. I played it just as anybody else would. I didn't receive anything extra or special from the studio because I wanted my experience to be indicative of a typical player's. So please, follow the link down below and sign up for their special launch event to receive rewards during the Nintendo Switch launch on October 3rd at 7 p.m. By signing up with this link below, you're going to get 100 free summons, a super rare character Ayoba, 3,000 free gems, 100,000 gold, a Rose Knight costume, and a 3-star fantasy sword. And also by doing so, you will be supporting the channel.